look through our module on selecting an information systems project. This is a really critical module because we are trying to select the project with our limited resources that best fits the strategy of our organization and will therefore help us make more money. It's sometimes in a IS project, it's easy to get caught up on the technical details and forget why that module is in place, or why that project's in place and how it affects the bottom line of the organization. So if we develop an expensive project and it doesn't hit the bottom line of the organization, then we really haven't done a good job. So keep that in mind as you look at this module. In this module, we will look at how organizations select information systems projects among their many possibilities. An overview of the process is that we need to first generate the potential projects, evaluate and rank those projects, and then select a project or a portfolio of projects to work on. An important part of this is certainly generating the potential projects. A number of organizational processes generally generate those projects. So, for example, the corporate strategic planning process will often identify strategic IT initiatives that work with the business initiatives. IT can initiate projects from their own planning processes. Sometimes infrastructure or security projects come from the IT side. Many organizations have steering committees. Steering committees can be made up of members from different parts of the organization, so they can initiate projects that are good for the organization as a whole. And many information systems users are a good source of ideas for new projects. One thing to keep in mind is the quality of these ideas sometimes can be said to have to do with the IT culture of the organization. And I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. At this point, I'd like to talk about inventing strategically. And I talk about it here in generating the project ideas because I want to emphasize that we need to create these project ideas that will support the profitability and strategic position of our organization. So if we combine our knowledge of what's going on in information technology and knowledge of what the business strategy is, we can think of new systems that need to be created that will put us ahead of our competition. Rob Carter, FedEx CIO, has a good take on this, and he talks about the IT culture of FedEx. And what that means is the IT group understands the business strategy, and the business people understand the possibilities of IT. So it really improves the quality of the ideas they generate and what can be worked on. Sometimes we think of top-down versus bottom-up processes in organizations. So when we look at top-down processes, they usually have a strategic view. So we get our larger scale information systems projects, and they usually have a good alignment with business strategy. But there are a lot of bottom-up processes and ideas for projects that come up in organizations as well. And these are really important because they're a good source of identifying operational problems. A particular business process is not working well. It's maybe upsetting the customer, or it's really inefficient. So those bottom-up ideas are really tied to the operations of the business and can identify critical problems. These may be smaller scale. Infrastructure projects are a little bit different. They might come from IT, and include things like security, networks, servers. But the benefits might be reduced risk of downtime. So if that's the benefit, it makes it a little bit harder to justify. And sometimes they can get postponed and create a hidden liability. So what's good about an organization that has a good IT culture, it means the business people will listen to the IT people about what's going on in the infrastructure and the importance of upgrades in that area. Once we've come up with all these great ideas, and we can generate lots of those, we got to evaluate those and really see what is the best return on investment or ROI for our organization. Okay, when we look at ROI, we want to look at, have we improved the value of the product or service that the organization produces? Okay, so if we've improved the value, maybe we can sell it more or gain market share, which will increase revenue, and that increased revenue, we can calculate whether that's good investment to do this project based on the estimates of the project cost. Reducing operational costs. So if we can cut the cost of operating our business and become more efficient, how much money does that save? And how does that compare to the cost of the project? Risk avoidance can be a little less clear when we talk than ROI, but we need to look at, is the system reliable? Will there be downtime? Are there security issues or regulation issues? Are we not meeting our regulatory deadlines in reporting, or could we possibly miss them? Or are we not capturing the correct information for regulatory reporting? No real business value created, but something we need to do. Another way to look at this is to think about a portfolio analysis. The portfolio analysis recognizes that we have a number of projects in our organization, and some of those are going to be strategic, and we might want to invest maybe more heavily and get all the bells and whistles, because we're going to use those bells and whistles to service our customer. Whereas other systems in our organization may be less critical, and so we might take a low-cost approach. If it's not critical to delivering our product to our customers, it might be better to save money. And in any real-world organization, we're just going to have a whole bunch of those systems, so it's good to choose which project gets that emphasis. So in conclusion, select projects strategically, listen to IT regarding hidden risks, communicate your project selection decision, and get to work. Thanks.